Okay, hello. This is Barton Fink, Ponygoon extraordinaire and newfound con goer, I guess. It's about 12:41ish. I'm back in my room. I'm not quite tired yet. I thought I'd give a quick rundown of the day, partially because I don't feel like typing something up, and partially because I'm not tired yet. And I don't want to forget anything. I guess I will begin at the beginning. Um, Took a 8 hour-ish bus ride out here. As I posted, there was about four people at the front of the bus. It was Megabus, so it was full of, which I highly recommend. So it was full of random college kids and whatnot. And there were four kids right at the front who were loudly discussing a video game forum and saying things like trollololololol out loud. As you probably guessed, I hated them, um, as did, at least as far as I could pick up, the remainder of the buzz. So, it was an odd sensation because the hatred quickly turned to, wait a minute, there's a non-zero chance that these people are going to the same event that I am, and turned into self-loathing, of course, et cetera, et cetera. You know how it is. Anyway, I get there. I'm pretty exhausted at this point because I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before because I'm an insomniac and have a terrible sleep schedule. Um, but nonetheless, I did show up, and I knew I was in the right place when I walked into the building, and there was two gentlemen, both fairly rotund, not that I'm judging, one of which was wearing the Sweetie Belle dumb fabric shirt, and the other one was wearing the MLP, as in the Major League Baseball parody shirt. And I'm like, yes, I am in the right place, or possibly the wrong one. Um, it was a poor decision on my part to get right in line because I sort of had to pee, and I made the assumption the line would go a lot faster than it normally would, and I was incorrect. So my bladder was basically killing me by the time I actually checked in. Um, at which point, this was fairly amusing. I believe that one of the people at the front desk basically made fun of me. Um, I went up. I'd used the code from the website, the meetup.com thing, in order to get in. It was like BRO01, and it gave a slight discount on the room. And I wanted to just make sure it was on, so I mentioned that to him. Now, I was not dressed in pony gear, as I do not own any. So he said to me, like, oh, okay. His name was Gustavo. Gustavo, fuck you, wherever you are. And he said to me, like, oh, okay, what is this thing all about anyway? And for better or worse, I decided not to answer that one. I just said, oh, I think my exact wording was, it's too stupid to talk about, in a jokey manner, which is, not a lie. And he then says, oh, okay. It's like a comic book thing? I'm like, yeah, something like that. Um, at which point, then he takes my card and everything, and this is how I think he was fucking with me. He then goes to the woman next to him, like, hey, Danielle, are you going to get the pony shirt? Ha ha ha. And I'm like, you knew the whole time, asshole. You were just fucking with me. I was unjustifiably mad at that. So, anyway, I get back up, get in my room, get everything unloaded. Uh, I really didn't feel like doing anything else, and I really didn't do anything else that night. Just went to bed. So anyway, I woke up today at about 8:30. I did shower. I'm fighting against stereotypes every day of my life, and this is just another small victory. Successfully showered, put on clothes successfully. It was a huge success for the first hour. Um, and it probably, okay, so I get down there, and it's approximately, let's say, 9:10 when I get down there ish. Um, And so it had dawned on me that I never actually looked up where this was. I obviously was at the Red Hotel, but I didn't know which room it was on. So I was a bit worried, like, oh shit, am I going to know where to go? Well, the long line of pony-clad ladies and gentlemen helped me to find the right place to go. The line at this point, at 9:10, was fucking huge. It was gigantic. It was endless. It kept going and going. So I finally get to the end of it. Um, I don't quite know how this happened, but I somehow wound up in the This might not be that interesting, but I wound up in the unregistered people's line where at one point they said there's going to be a cutoff. You people have no chance of getting in until 12 o'clock if you stay in line. So that's a little view from the world of the unregistered broniedom, if you will. And it was funny because I was standing in front of two guys who seemed like fairly normal looking guys. One has a Transformers shirt or something, who then they got into conversation about like, so which pony one is this for anyway? Is this for all of them or just the new one? And one guy's like, nah, they don't appreciate the old ones. They're all about that new show. And the other guy's like, and he gets like kind of legitimately pissed off, and he goes like, yeah, no fucking respect for for your predecessors. And I was like, this is the equivalent of a pony turf war. It was rather weird and kind of sad. But anyway, it then sort of dawns on me that I'm in the completely wrong line. So I find the right line, and I probably get into the right line at, I don't know, let's say 9:30-ish, which itself is fairly long, and it filled up way behind me. Um, so it's 9:30. I figure it's opening at 10. It slowly dawns on me that the line is not moving whatsoever from where I was. For quite a while. I really don't think it moved at all until 10, obviously. Um, Supposedly there was a Bronyville Everfree Radio panel right at the beginning of it. I can't imagine there were that many people, and they must have been filing in as they were doing it. So I certainly didn't see any of that because I don't think it reached a point where we started moving until, I'm not kidding, about 10:15-ish. And then we moved slowly, ever so slowly. I don't know how to run these kind of cons. I have no experience in them. I don't know. I really don't know anything about them. So I'm not in much of a position to, be saying this should have been done. But well, you know what? I will mention that we started slowly working in, and several songs took place, starting in the lobby. What was in the lobby? I believe the song of choice there was "You've Got to Share, You've Got to Care." Then it worked into a staircase. We were song free for a while. I spoke to two gentlemen in front of me who both seemed fairly on the level, who were bringing in cans for donations. So kudos to those guys. Um, kept going, and then when people really started getting frustrated, it broke out into winter wrap up. And when I say that, I don't mean to imply that they just sang the chorus to the song. That would be incorrect. They sang the entire, 3 minute, what is it, 42-second version. I mean, the entirety of the song. Um, Not as horribly as you might expect, but nonetheless, and quite loudly and thoroughly enthusiastically um, throughout the staircase. Then, what did they do after that? I also heard So Many Wonders at some point. Well, a lot of singing at this convention in general. We're going to keep returning to this point. But the long and short of it is, I'm not kidding about how long it took. I probably got in there at about 11:50, I would say. Um, my original plan was to get in there, register, run back to my room, get a few things, make sure that I had the right numbers to meet up with, people from the forum. Yeah, that was completely blown. So by the time I actually got in there between the long waiting time and the singing, I was pretty pissed off and not feeling that great. Temporarily, I got over it. But, I'm just like, I need to sit the fuck down. Um, so I get in there. But by the time I was actually in there, it was on the musicians panel, which, no offense, I don't really give a shit. Um, oh, and side note, in the process, there was a gentleman there. The name he was going by was Dr. Psych Ology, as in like it's two words, like it's some sort of weird pony name or something. Um, when I originally read this on the schedule, I sort of made the assumption that this would be some random dude, like the type of thing you'd see at a, shitty DeviantArt account, or like that one sociology chart that idiot thought up. But no, he was nice enough to go around in the line. Gentleman was probably in, I would say, late 40s, early 50s type guy, and he's like, no, I'm a professor of clinical psychology. He named the college. I couldn't remember what it was. My son got into the show. He was fascinated by it. He was particularly fascinated in the social gatherings portion of it. And really, I think he's chosen, there's a lot of potential material there one way or another. So it seemed like this was a real legitimate dude. Now I got his card at, I would say, right when I got in line, so like 9:30 or whenever I said earlier. So I was like, huh. So this isn't just some random guy. This might actually be interesting. But by the time I got in there, it was 11 to 11:30, so I did not see so much as 1 second of it. So, okay, where was I? Oh, anyway, so I get there during the musicians panel, and at this point, we had a 12:15 meetup scheduled. So, I was like, fuck, are they even in the convention? Did they get in successfully? Am I the last one there? I didn't really know what was going on. I believe, as it turned out, I probably was the last one to actually get in. So, good job, Joe. Um, but I get in there and I'm like, I need to find someone, anyone, to figure out what the fuck is going on. And I didn't have the numbers because I couldn't get back to my room as I wanted to do earlier. The one person had texted me that was DarkMatter, who was also complaining about the line. And I'm like, is that still on? Do you know what's going on there? Have you talked to anyone? And he's like, I'm not really sure. And we had gone back and forth a little bit. And he said he wasn't in line to get something signed. He was in line to get a ticket to be in line to get something signed later. Yep. Nice little two-step process there. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Just, finish up and find me. I'll be in the main room. So I'm waiting there like 5 minutes. And again, I don't give a shit what they were talking about with the music stuff. So finally, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go out there and find him. And I send him a text message. I'll just be by the door. I'll wait another 5 minutes. I'm like, okay. And I'm about to send him a message that says, I'll be by. There was a giant plushy Pinkie Pie thing that was rather well made, I should add. Um, so I'm like about to hit the button to send him the message, and then I get a message from him. And it's one of those things where you get a completely blank text message because the person sent it too soon. So I'm like, okay, he's probably just going to text me. So I'll wait a minute and see what he says, and then I'll send him the I'm by the giant Pinkie Pie message. So I do wait, like, maybe 20 seconds, and he sends me a message. I'm by the giant Pinkie Pie. So I look slightly to the right, and he gives me a look, and it's like, hi, DarkMatter, how are you doing? So anyway, we resolved to go down, leave. We weren't even sure if we could get back in based on the line. And, we'd work our way back in later. So anyway, we're going down. The meetup was obviously still on for the dinner at the place whose name I've already forgot. I'm fucking awesome. Um, and as we're walking down, I get to like the line is still going that I had just got out of, but it's like still backed up to the point where I was at fucking 9:45, and I'm like, is this still the pre-register line? I said to some rather annoyed-looking man, and he's like, yep. I'm like, wow, that that's unfortunate. Again, I don't know how this could have been gone about differently, but it seems like there should be a way. So anyway, went down to the restaurant inside the Hotel Penn. You can look up the name if you're really curious, which you are not. Um, and met up with. I was saddened to hear that Pony Factory couldn't make it because A, that's a really cool username. B, he did a lot of cool gifts, and C, his story, as I understand it, he like it was literally the wrong train, or they fucked up or something. I don't remember the exact details, but I remember when it was explained to me, it was pretty damn tragic. So sorry, Pony Factory. Um, but anyway, I met up with everyone, and we went in. I'm not just saying this because there's a chance they might hear it or anything, but whenever you're meeting people from a message board, there's always this worry that they're going to be obviously it's going to be a bit nerdy because we're there for a pony convention, so there's no way around that. But you're worried that they're going to be like one of those people, which the con was successfully full of. So, but I have to say, I liked just about everyone who I met. Headless is a cool guy. Scuderi's pretty funny guy. I didn't talk to Holler as much. I think he's mainly at another forum, and he had to bail or something. But as far as I could tell, he was a cool guy. And yeah, so we've somewhat broken the goon rule on this, at least in my view.